the future of Orchard. This is the continuation of the previous talk I just gave, which was 1.6. Question is 1.6++, where maybe new major version. So in this session, I will talk about all the ideas we've gathered during the committee meetings, the next new podcasts, the meetings we have on Wednesday, and also from the forums and discussion talks with you guys. And so I will show you all the ideas we have. It's not a demonstration, it's just something we would like to have in our chart. Personally, I would like to see them, and you will also like them, okay? And it's on top of what Ilan showed us during the keynote from OneStop. And some of them are the same, actually, you see. I also want to tell you about how we drive the contributions and give you some concrete examples of what we did so far, and maybe show you some guys here who made them, because they are here. I will tell you, give you the names, culprits. And then I show you a version of Orchard vNext, something no one even knows, just a few of them. Maybe because it's not very interesting. But this is vNext. What we would like to see in vNext, okay? And with demos. So requested Orchard features are usually done on uservoice.com website. Let me show you this website. Maybe you don't know it. It's not really up to date. There is a guy who used to maintain it, and it's no more working on this one. If I have internet, I'm sure I. Yeah, it's going. Okay. So, 81 top IDs. First ID, a forum. Okay. We don't have a forum in Orchard.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. So I know that
there is this forum module from Nick. It's work in progress. It doesn't do much.
And this is Nick.
So you can contribute to it. It has 500 votes, so people want it.
But maybe Web Advanced team could share their work and what they did with I don't remember the name of the forum yet. Yet another forum. If it works, let's work. Yeah. So share it.
Share.
You want to talk? Okay. Right? No, I don't know this one. No. I don't know. We'll touch. Okay. So from shopping cart. Okay, we'll see that just after. Menu system, it's been done in 1.5. We shouldn't remove it. Mono compatibility, it used to work, it's not working. Workflow, content item permissions by role. All this stuff actually is pretty important. Okay, forms done, and much of those ones have been done. I will show you some of them which haven't been done and needs to be done at some point. Workflow, you saw it in the top 10 list that we saw. This is kind of important feature for a content management system. We don't have anything right now. You can make some weird stuff with the rules engine and custom types, but I've never seen it reused, so we need a workflow. So the idea of a workflow is a sequence of predefined steps a content item has to go through. Starting from draft to published, you have custom steps, like review, translation, accepted by the big boss, or marketing, stamped it, things like that. So the idea is to be able to create custom workflows for each content type. Like pages will have their process. Blog posts will have their process. Maybe news items will be validated by the marketing. Maybe some other content types don't need any workflow at all when you say it's published because it's not really important. And also, you can define who can transition from one step to the other, okay? From one state to the other. So it's about defining custom steps and handling who can change the steps. Example, very simple one, the one that everyone should use with the workflow actually. If you want to use a workflow, draft, review, published. I put draft and published in green because they are out-of-the-box states. If you want to put a workflow on something, it will have to have a draft state, okay? Because it will be like a ghost content item before being published. And this ghost content item will be called a draft. And in between, you will have your own custom states, example, review. And the goal is to be able to see what are the next available steps at the current state for the user which is currently editing the content. So that if I go to a page and I have no right to publish it, I don't see the publish button right now. Same thing, if you don't have the right to review it, to mark it as reviewed, then you can say it's reviewed or it's published. And same thing to say it's going to review. So we need to drive the experience like that dynamically based on the next step available and based on also users' permission. Some other scenarios for the workflow module, multiple transitions, like, for instance, if you can publish something because you are the reviewer, maybe you don't need to go through review because you are the reviewer, so let's go publish directly. Okay, so if you can shortcut some things like that. Or maybe you have a complex workflow with different paths, and so this is a possible extension, possible scenario. No available transition for all. For instance, you can do nothing from the current state. You just have a save button, which is changing the current state, the current version of the content of this state. Optionally, have a comment zone, so that when you go to the next step, you can put a comment to tell the next people to validate what you did and why you want him to validate. And also optionally, which would be very interesting, a workbench, which would be a page where you can see for your rights what you have or what you can change for a content, like everything which is in a specific step, like review. What content items can you put publish? Okay, just like a workbench, what you can do today or what you have to do today to validate or things like that. So everything here is taken from Drupal. Okay. Great ideas in Drupal, so let's take their great ideas and a bunch of modules in Drupal. So let's make a nice workflow module. I think it's much needed in Orchard. That's it. So no demo, just explaining what we would like to see in version and what we will have. We don't know what version number, but what we will have, obviously. And again, open for suggestion. And no, we don't need it. Leave it to Drupal. And also make it integrated with other modules. So, for instance, with the projection, you might want to create your own dashboard by just filtering a specific state, like give me everything which is in review mode. So I want to see everything which is in review. And also the rules, so that whenever a content item changes states, you can trigger specific rules. So when something goes to review, I need to send an email to all those people. Okay? Or I need to, when it goes to archive, I need to send a content item somewhere, or to export it, or to delete it, or whatever you want. But integration with rules will be nice because you can do whatever you want, because we don't know. So let's trigger an event and execute the rule. So this is for workflow. Next module I like to talk about, I think Ilan mentioned it. Not sure, I was not listening to him. He did. Nice. Deploy. So the goal of deploy is to let you manage your different environments, like development, staging, production. If you're in this kind of environment, you will like it. So, and you need it actually. So the idea is that you develop a website, so it goes back and forth with the designers and the program manager, and then, okay, let's ship it. Okay, but first we need to go to staging to see if the customer is happy, to see if the environment is working, if it's performant enough, and things like that. And whenever everyone is agreed with that, then you go to production which will be on the public website, while staging will be on the private website. So to do that, today there is no magical tools to do that. It's handwork, hard work. So the idea with deploy will be to provide you with administrative screens and also scripts to let you migrate from one environment to the other the content items, well, any content, the media, and the code, like modules and custom developments. So that with just one button, or maybe on a predefined schedule, you could migrate your development to staging and staging to production, or just development to production, or whatever you want, or backing up things and things like that. So that's the goal. In Umbraco, they have a very nice module for that. It's called Courrier. Courrier in French. Okay. They just have French module names. Let's call it Courrier. Okay.
Why doesn't there? Okay, shut up.
That's you. Maybe I just. Sorry.
No, it's probably because I'm sitting next to.
Yeah, maybe move. Yeah, from the speaker. So he wants to say something.
No, I was just
wait for you.
Why doesn't everyone have French? But.
Oh yeah. Place content. Place content is related to dynamic content, dynamic placement. So the idea of dynamic placement is that an editor will just edit its content, and the website knows where to put this content. Example, you create a new news, and it's automatically in this widget on the first position. It's dynamically driven by logic. Okay, you just edit the content, and it fits where it has to fit. You don't decide where it goes. The designers, the developers, marketing decided where every content goes. You just edit the content. It's nice, but people want place content too. I don't really like it. You should not do it. But everyone wants it, so let's give it. I want a page with some text here, an image there, and the last news on the side. Every customer wants it. Okay, they just talk about, I want a page with that here and that there and this text, and I want to change the image. That's place content. You see your layout, and you just play text and images and media and whatever you want in some zones. So the goal of this place content will be to have a custom type. Today, if you want to do place content, you use what we call layers in our chart, and it's awesome but cumbersome because you need to create a specific rule for each page if you want to talk in terms of pages and not in terms of rules and dynamic logic. So it's not very natural for the customers and for the guys who read the website, and yet it's very powerful. And so the idea with the place content module would be to provide a custom content type. Let's call it a place content type, or place pages, or whatever. We don't know the name. We have lots of ideas. You may have better ideas, so we give them. So this content type will just be an auto route part, just to have a URL, and a place content part, just so that when you edit this item, you see all the zones like you see widgets today. So when you have the widgets page, you see all the zones, and you can define new widgets in every zone. So that's the idea, but in terms of a content item. So content item will be a set of widgets, placed content. And you can still add layers on these pages, which we inject dynamically other ones, or share widgets across pages. But this is very simple to do, and yet very also powerful, but very useful for all the customers we have when we do our child websites. So optionally, we can, Ilan talked about that, the layout selector. So the idea would be also when you create this kind of page, you can switch different layouts, dynamically or not dynamically, but you can define, okay, I want 3 columns or 2 rows, whatever you want. You provide them to your customer, they're available, and then when it shows their layout, they can put widgets inside. Maybe no fancy drag and drop, but the current widget edition is very nice. And always in the back end. Everything I tell you is in the back end. Okay? Ilan is all in the front end, I'm all in the back end. Different visions. And that's nice because you get everything. So as I said, you can add widgets on those pages, and yeah, we are considering allowing to allow a kind of nice editor for layouts, but just option. So every idea is welcome for that. Next very requested module, you saw that on user voice, is a calendar and events module, so that you can create events and show them as a calendar view. So how to do it is we would like to make an event part so that any content item can get into a calendar, whether it's a page, an event, and I don't know, a recipe, whatever you want can be on a calendar, a game, whatever. And to be on a calendar, it just needs the event part. Event part which will have the start date and optionally an end date. Let's say the start date and the end date are the same. This is an event at some point, not on the go. So between this part and the custom layout that we could provide in the projection, you could query all the events of a specific type and then decide to render them on a monthly layout or on a weekly layout or maybe an hybrid one with next and previous buttons, and you could define what you want to expose as a calendar on those things. So, and as I explain those modules, yeah, we need it. How come could you make websites without those modules? Did you ever make websites without those modules? We need them. Database shapes. So it is again inspired by awesome Piotr Schmidt. He's here. He's here. He's arrived. So he made it. So he just needs, I think, 1 or 2 more years to release it. Because when he says next week, okay, next week. Or maybe
you can have a demo next week.
Yeah, we already saw that module, so it just needs finishing and publishing. So the idea is to let you create and edit shapes or templates on the dashboard, so that you could say, okay, I want to customize this template. You don't have to create a page. You go to the admin and you say edit, and it would save those templates in database. So they will be compiled dynamically and loaded in from database and cache and everything. But the nice thing is that you can edit it from the dashboard. You just want to make a quick and not dirty change, you can do it from the dashboard. And create new shapes also. So that would be very, very nice. And I saw it, so I just want it now. And maybe OneStop should stop giving him some work, and he will work for so that's some ideas, and these are not the first ideas we have had to create modules, and we've done a bunch of modules already, lots of them, and lots of them were made by contribution. So how do we drive contribution? Because actually those modules, you can do that. Okay. I'm sure, I know you made some modules, so you can do that. I'll take one, you take the 4 last. Okay. How should it work? Open a discussion about the module. So we first need to talk about that. You have ideas, we have ideas, everyone has ideas, so we need to exchange and to define what modules we need and what options and what can be done for a V1 and for a VNext and so on. So open a discussion either on the forum or during the public meeting we have every Wednesday. And that's how we made a bunch of module set. I will show you some. So when you open the discussion and we agree, let's design the solution. Usually I see people, oh, I want to do that. Wait. Don't do it. Let's talk about how to do it, how to make it extensible, and what is the best way to do it in Orchard. Because we know Orchard, the development part, so let's make it Orchard-y and not Drupal-y or whatever-y. Okay. So it can communicate with other modules and be extensible and all those very nice tricks that sometimes we just discover, oh, we can do that, right? And finally, members implement the module. And when you implement it, you got real support from the core developers, from the forum or Skype. And I'll show you some examples. And yeah. Example 1, AutoRoute. Who knows AutoRoute? So everyone else is not using Orchard. Okay? Or maybe v1.2, because AutoRoute was released in 1.4 in February this year. And AutoRoute was made by awesome random Pete on the forum, named as Pete Hurst in real life. He's here. He will talk about what the stuff he does also around Orchard. And so it started in December 2011, and I don't know why he started it. It was already designed by the Orchard team, and we just needed some time to do it, and he decided to do it. So okay, do it. And he made it. Great. Just a few code reviews and Skype calls and things like that, and it was there for the release of 1.4, and it was the biggest feature for 1.4, which breaks every new. Yeah, but that's him. That's his fault.
And you didn't entirely rewrite it.
What?
It's good.
Rewrote it? No.
You rewrote it.
No, I just fixed some bugs. No, that's
what I'm saying. You didn't even rewrite it.
And and it's one of the greatest modules we have in Orchard. And so we worked on the IES module, which is a dependency from Autoroute 2, and it's great. But it broke everything because it's a breaking change that's changing how routes work. So that's how it worked. Just a guy from UK, small country, doing okay. That's just why he's here. Please go. Another example. I won't show you the auto route everyone knows, but the scheduler. You may have seen some tweets earlier this week about this module. So made by Brendan Carey, another guy from UK. At the time he made it, he was in New Zealand or Australia, something, an island, and UK is also. And so what happened is that we were talking about something on the forum, and he said, "Oh, I want to do the schedule. Let me do it." Okay, stop. Let's talk. Okay, we don't have time to do it by ourselves, but okay, let's do it with you. But let's talk about how to do it. And then Skype meetings, like every week, or when it was maybe early in the morning for him and late at night for me, and talking about how to do it. And then it took 2 months to do it. It's not a big module, but it's on his spare time, so it took 2 months to do it, and it's an awesome module. It's really awesome, and I will show it to you, okay? Because I'm sure you haven't tried it. He just released it last week, so let me show it to you. And let me just run the website, because I think I already synchronized to these changes. Yes. So let me so it's based on, it works on 1.6, and I think it works on 1.5 too. Let me just set up a module. I do it all day long, setting up Orchard. So if you complain about the slowness of setting up an Orchard website, me too. Do it faster, please. Fed up with your work. Okay, it works. Now I will enable the module which is called scheduler. Module. I'm running 1.6, okay? But it works also. It's dependent on rules and task lists. When you see that, it's a good sign. That's a great module. Task list is for applications, modules who need to run background tasks on a web farm, just so that the background task don't run on all the nodes. The task list is that I'm a background task, I need to run on one node. I take the list, so all the other nodes won't run this task. And the scheduler is a background task, which on specific times or dates or schedules will trigger an event saying I match this schedule. Do something. So I enable it, so I have a scheduler here, not scheduler. Okay, new trend. I will add a new schedule, and for instance, every Monday. Okay, it starts today. There are two editors because there is the Chrome one and the Orchard one. It's strange, but it works. And let's end whenever. Let's say this. Okay. And with what minute, hour, day of month, okay, day of the week, Monday, okay. I can see the next occurrences, and that's right. It should be right. No, because every... Is it every... No, it's not every Monday. It's every hour here. But on Monday. Can I say... There is a way to do that. I'm not clever enough to guess how to do that. There is an advanced module too. Okay. Maybe that. Okay. I don't care. It works. When you save and enable, what is you see? I see every Monday. It works. It's every Monday. So now, what I can... No, I can reimburse you, and if you just make jokes of my demos. Okay. You can joke about my demos. Awesome. Just kidding. I can reimburse you. Add a new rule. So the idea is that when you have a schedule, you create a rule. A rule is an event and an action. So here you can say send emails or whatever you want, just a text. So the event here is linked with the scheduled event. So when I say create new event, I can say when a content is created, but I can say also when a scheduled event is triggered. And here I can see all my scheduled events. Oh, every Monday. Okay. On every Monday. Okay. Do what? Whatever. Close comments or notify. If I had enabled the email module, I could send an email. So there's a lot of modules doing lots of things in this for this module. So I can do whatever I want on a schedule. So that's the scheduler. And let me go back to the slides. So yeah, same thing. Just talked a bunch of times on Skype, and here we go. So I show you the behavior, so that's okay. Next module, nobody has ever seen. I did. This is the most awesome module for a web designer ever. Okay. I'm shaking so made by John Murdoch from New Zealand. Same thing, we were talking about, yeah, how do we manage media and things like that on the forum, and yeah, I want to do it. Okay, stop. Let's talk. Okay. We talked on Skype. We like Skype. Okay, I like Skype. And then he made it. Great. Let me show you. Let me enable the media processing module. Media processing module. It's not on the gallery, so the scheduler is on the gallery. This one is on the fork, but it's public though. It's enabled, and now you see on the media column, I still have the media, the main media, and I have also profiles. Okay. So let me do something. I will just create a content type. News. News item, but let's call it news. I will give it an auto route from Magic Pithurst and the title. And then I will make a field which will be an image. Let's say I want an image on my news, and it's a media picker because Ilan likes it. And then let me put a media with a folder images, and I will add a koala. And I will create a news. And I will call it koala. It's okay. And I will browse for the koala. Okay, publish. So it's koala URL, and if I display it, that's a koala. So, but that's a big fat koala, okay? You don't want this koala on your website, okay? It's too noisy. So let's make, okay. Let's say when you create news, you don't want big images. And all the guys who publish, they just put like 3,000 pixels by 10,000. No, okay? It's not up. Always, even you, I'm sure. I forgot to. So let's do a profile that we'll call a news thumbnail. Ooh, what can it do? And I will edit this profile. And, oh, filters, okay, let's add a new filter. Resize, crop, image format. Let's resize it. Description, resize to 100 by 100. 100 with 100, yeah. Clever, guys. Let's close it, okay? And I have now a new thumbnail profile. And now, if I hit F5, it doesn't do anything. Obvious. I just created a profile. I didn't say that it was for all the news. So now what I will do is just override the template for this field, or it's rendered, to say, okay, whenever you have a media, use the new thumbnail for that. So to do that, I go to the website. Where is my website? And themes. I hack the main theme. I go to views, and I create a file. If you use shape tracing, it will be obvious, but here I know what I need to type. So it's fields dot media picker or something like that. I have a note. Somewhere I have a note. Yeah, media picker. Dash news, the content type, dash image, which is the field name. Okay, so CS HTML. So what I want, yeah. Okay, and let me edit it. Yeah, if I had used the shape tracing, it would be better because you will see what was the template before. It's important and it's very quick. So if I go to fields, the template is here. Common here, views, fields, media picker. So this is the template which is used, and at some point it will just say, you see, model content field URL. This is the URL of the media. So let's take it, the URL of the media. And just not to make any, okay. So here, and if I just say, for instance, that this is my template, just to see if it works, it works. You see, I have the URL here. So now what I can do is that I can say display.image URL. This is a shape from the media processing module. I'll explain that tomorrow. And you need a path, which is this URL, and you need a profile, which will be, in this case, news thumbnail. Did I put an S in the end? No, I don't think so. Okay. F5. Yeah, it's an URL. Koala, okay? I didn't do the resize by myself. Isn't it awesome? Imagine what you can do with that. So I just said, give me an image URL for this URL. So what it did, it actually generated this image, put it somewhere in the media based on the profile, and reuse it directly. Which means the second time I wanted to generate it, it will be a cache of the image of the thumbnail. And this image is, you see, new thumbnail, a JPEG. I don't like JPEG on my websites. I don't know why, maybe just for the demo, but I don't like that. So what I will do in the profile, I will edit it and add a step, a new filter, a step, which is a filter, an instance of a filter, and I will change the image format and just say I want a PNG and save it. And let's go back here. And because it has been changed, F5, same one, but if I go there, if I can show you, it worked. Okay, koala.png. Isn't that awesome? Question, Ilan?
I just have one quick question. You put in 100 by 100, then does it always maintain
That's
aspect ratio?
depends on all the filters you need. So this one maybe we'll just do that like that.
Because
There will be
you
more
have
options to say.
100 by 76, so
Oh, that's a big issue.
does it take the bigger
So let me see. Are you sure? No, I don't trust you. Oh, where do you get it?
I think it was like
Probably
you can click on the there it is.
Oh yes, so it 100. Maybe it took the biggest and just fit it inside the box of 100 and 100. There will be filters and options about what to do, really scale or no resize, like stretching also in every way, cropping and whatever. You saw image format. I will show you some of them, just to give you some examples. Steps, example, crop resize, we saw that. Black and white, or if you want to use sepia, whatever you want, it's Instagram. Change format to JPEG, send to a CDN. There will be also storage filter, so when you call an image which is on media, actually it will process it, send it to a CDN, and use the CDN URL.
But those are on separate pages because I saw when you typed in 100 by 100, there was only those two text fields, right? It wasn't like checkboxes aspect.
Sorry?
There wasn't there wasn't the aspect ratio and all those options.
No, those options are not there. This is a develop module right now. It's not finished.
Oh,
We
I
need
see.
more
But they'll
filters.
be on the same page.
Sorry?
They'll
It
be on
could.
the same page as you type in
Yeah.
100.
It could, and if it isn't, you can always create your own, put it on the gallery. You know, it can be advanced image processing filter.
Yeah. So
It's entirely extensible. You can create your own filters. You could create one for watermarks or who knows what.
So that's why we also need to discuss when we design the thing, because we need to make it extensible. So you can provide your own filters with your own logic. Sorry, web application and sorry.
Actually better this one, so they can screw it up. What they do, they just stretch the image.
One quick question. Is it actually processing the image once and caching it
Yes.
somewhere in the media folder?
Yes. So the idea is that when it the first time it gets it, there is a database entry for that. We've found every solution we could. The only way to do that is have a database entry. If we have no database entry for this image, we process the image, and there is a database entry, and then it's cached. So that next time, we just return the URL. We don't process it. We know where it is for this thumbnail. So, and it's ordered into the media and under a subfolder named by the profile you made. So it's everything is nice. And you can do. You see, I made a thumbnail profile. I can do a thumbnail 100, thumbnail 300, and then in your different templates, use this one and this one, and you just publish one image. Okay. And you will be able to rotate and everything. And
The storage of these files, are they in the backend? Can you control what name and what?
yes, there is a specific interface to implement if you want to change the file name of the file. And as I said, you can also, because it's a pipeline of processors, and one processor is just changing the size, another one can set the name, another one can set the name and save it on a CDN, and things like that. So everything is extensible.
Are you able to schedule media things?
I have to think.
Is there display at the time? Are you able to schedule?
No, it's on request that we process the image the first time. So yeah, so schedule I don't.
Like have an image show at a certain time, or
Image show at certain time.
yeah, schedule. So like say you want something to show up on a page at a certain time or not.
No, that's JavaScript, isn't it? But you talk about video. We call it media processing because imagine you push a video, you could say extract a thumbnail from this video at that time. So you could say image URL of the video. So you can extract.
If you do that, say you wanted it to show only at Wednesday at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m.
An image?
Well, but no, that's just content scheduling.
Yeah, that's content scheduling. That's not the image. Yeah, that's content scheduling. That's different. So the news, actually, you could say, don't display the news until this date and release it and archive it after 2 days. You can do it. And then the whole news will show. So actually, you will not see this page. It will be a page not found. But when it's published with a publish later module, you can see the whole news and thus the image. It's not just about the image. This is in our chart since V1. Publish later module and archive later module. So you can define when you publish and when you archive. So, and with the scheduler, you could also schedule for some time publishing something. But we already had it with a module. I'm late. I have to go on.
Are there any more questions?
Later, I have to show the stuff because we are late and Brett will shout or cry. So vNext, I need to talk about the vNext, and then I will do a very quick demo. Ta-da! vNext, current limitations. So what we'd like to improve? Mostly performance. Performance is impacted by the number of requests you do to the SQL engine. Okay? The more requests you have, the more queries you have on the database, the longer it will be to render a page. So how do we fix it? First, the content item, the stuff you see, is made of lots of tables, lots of records, because our chart is composing those content items from different parts of data, and then arranging them and giving you a content item. That makes either lots of inner joins in the database, or lots of queries, and so the two DBAs who are here will say, no, bad database schema and things like that. So we need to arrange that. And what is interesting is that the content item version or content item is an aggregate. So it's made of all those little parts. So why don't I just get one item, one document when I want a content item? Okay, why do I have to request lots of records? So, okay, and sorry? Then get you up. I'm dead.
Can't you write the queries?
I let you talk. You explain?
I can.
Yeah, David will explain. And so, the idea is that let's use documents. So you've maybe heard about NoSQL, document databases. The document is the unit. So you don't load different tables, you get one document by ID, you get the document. No more data across multiple tables, so no more inner join, no more lots of queries, and you can have sharding, which means you can save parts of the content on one database, some other part on another one, and you can grow as big as you want, but you won't grow as big as you want unless you are hosting CNN or stuff like that. You can do MapReduce, which is about aggregating data and extracting value from that, and things like that. So that's the NoSQL paradigm. It's a perfect fit for our chart because, as I said, a content item is an aggregate of lots of data, and it's a document. A content item is a document by definition in our chart. So that will make a perfect fit. What do we need in our chart? We need transactions. Okay. When we save an item, there is an issue in the pipeline, like a part failed, we need to cancel the transaction. We need free for commercial usage. We can ship our chart with a tool which is not free by default, because by using our chart, you will have to pay for a database. Today, this is not the case. We have SQL which is free, SQL Server Express, and MySQL. And if you want SQL Server, you can, if you want to pay for that because you already use that. Open source is a plus, but we don't care. Who cares about open source? Eric, maybe? Autocare. And we need .NET driver. Okay, we don't want something which is accessible only by PHP or C++. We are C# and .NET in general. So what solutions do we have? MongoDB and RavenDB, you must have heard about those names. MongoDB is open source. Great. Who cares? It's free, at least. But it's not transactional. Okay? No go. Not transactional, we can't use that. You can do some tricks to make it kind of transactional, but that are tricks, and that doesn't work with our chart. We don't cheat in our chart. Did I say the correct accent? Okay. RavenDB, it's open source, right? It's transactional. That's good. It's not free. Who wants to use a tool which is not free today? And so, what do we use? Come on, community.
We make our own.
Yeah. So we do our custom solution, okay? Because we like to do everything better than the others. Do not use every other CMS or chart. Let's do a new one, okay? So let's do our own. So actually, SQL works. I like SQL. Why NoSQL? Let's go to the last point. NoSQL is a trend. Yeah, NoSQL is just a word, but people care about document databases. They don't care about it's not in SQL. They just want document databases. It happens that they made it not using SQL Server or whatever, but yeah, SQL works. Who's not happy with SQL? The DBAs, you don't like SQL? Or, we got free and non-free solutions, supported and unsupported. You can scale. You are transactional with a SQL database. It's ubiquitous. Everyone uses it. Everyone knows it. Who doesn't know what SQL is or SQL database? Everyone knows it, okay? Even if I ask at the lobby, they know SQL. Well, I asked yesterday, they said, who? What's the first name? And it's trusted. So when you go to a company, they say, okay, well, if you go with MongoDB to, I don't know, to whatever company I can say. So if you take a company and you say, do you trust SQL? Yes, we trust SQL. Okay. In SQL, we trust. And it's widely known. No, everyone, SQL is awesome. It works. So why change it? So I won't demo it. I was just about to talk about it. I wish. So we made a tool named, it's on GitHub, sorry. GitHub, if I find it, I know we made it somewhere. It's called, yes, it's very funny. We made a tool named YesSQL, okay? Go for it. Yeah, best name ever. I should put R and YesSQL R? No, that doesn't work. Okay. The goal of this tool is to let you have a document database based on any RDBMS, any relational database. So you manage documents like you do with MongoDB and RavenDB, but instead of storing them in, I don't know, whatever B3 storage or whatever Lucene storage, it's using any RDBMS you use. MySQL, SQL C, SQL Express, Oracle, whatever you want. And in the end, you have the same services, and it's transactional, and it's free. And you can use the database ever you want, free or not free. So that's what you use. And I will show you something. If I go there, somewhere, not here, here, SRC, this solution. Ooh, don't show that. Let me see. Do I have to do a Control F5 right now? I will do it. I will just do it even if it's not set up. Let's do it. Control F5. So let's run this website. It's already set up. Maybe. If it's not, it will. It's not set up. I'm using SQL C. Enter. Cooking. But what is it cooking? Suspense. A website. And if I look at this website, there is no widget, and it looks old because there is this edit button like in the v1.2, because it's a v1.2 actually. On purpose, I will show you why. And let's go to the database now. So if I go to server side and I open a database, my project, this one, So let's open the SQL C database. Okay. Let's open an old one. So this is a standard orchard version. Okay. All those tables. Okay. Look at the settings. Just for the settings, I have 11 tables because they are all parts. If I go to content definition part and things like that, I don't even know where they are. Orchard framework something maybe. I'm lost. Too many. And now if I go to the one with the new installation, fewer tables, okay? Which means by definition fewer joins and maybe records. And if I just then look at the settings, I don't have settings, but I have a document table. And document table has a bunch of documents. And one of them is settings somewhere. Maybe it's longer than that. Content item, culture, you saw it? What? Here? Maybe. Maybe that's sheltered, okay. And also, for instance, content definition. If I take content definition, I say Control C. I'm opening a JSON formatter, which will format, not that. No, I just need to switch cells here. Okay, this is a big document, and if I format it, so this one is the set of all the content type definitions, content field definitions, content part definition, and content part field definitions. It's a big document. Okay. Previously in Orchard we needed 5 tables, inner joins and everything because they were different concepts. Here it's a document which is named content definition, and we get with one query all the content definitions of Orchard, and we can cache this this content definition very easily with that one document. So that's how it works with Orchard. And just to show you, I won't be able to show you more. We'll do something later because we are late. It's very easy to convert Orchard to this mechanism. Okay, so that's what we see as the future of Orchard in terms of development using a NoSQL database. Any question? Timeline? Ask Piotr, timeline for 10, 20 years? Next week. So we don't know, we have no schedule for 2.0. Right now we don't know what will be in 1.7, but 1.7, 8, 9, it will come fast. It should come in a,
We're out of available version numbers. We have to go at some point. So.
Yeah, so it's easy to migrate. So at some point when we think that the features are there in Orchard, we can make a migration to a 2.0 branch, just migrating every module to this mechanism. Because this is a different query mechanism with different querying and different storing and storage. It's easy to migrate to change a module to do that. It's very easy, just about the data you want to save, how to save that. And we still have content item records, content item version records. It's still using the content manager with the link queries. It's very nice. And just one example. For instance, if I go to the core, it's using the routable still. It was easier to migrate this version just as a proof of concept than the new ones. If I go to services and routable service, I should show you a query. Should be able to show a query. You see here, it's the same as today. I just say, give me a route part, but instead based on a route part record, because there is a more notion of record, we do an index. So we do indexes to query stuff. And an index is actually a table. So you just have tables if you need to query stuff in the database. And this index is declared as whenever you have a content item which has a route part, make an index entry. And then we can query it. So yeah, that's exactly the same paradigm as today in Orchard. The only new concept is this one, is an index provider. No. Not this one. Oh, I have a module here. Let's see rows. I need to find an example, but I don't have one in mind here. content item version index provider. This one we just say, whenever you have a content item version, here, just create directly an index with the stuff you need to query. So you just create indexes on what you want to query. It's like a materialized view for query. That's the concept. You need to dig into SQL. We don't have time to show it to you, but that's the next step for Charm, using NoSQL. And that has been requested also.
So it wouldn't be an option, like during a recipe, when the recipe comes up to use that, everything going forward would just use the SQL?
No, you need to use a completely different Charm version, because the binary-wise, everything is different. So every module has to be converted to 0. That's like a breaking change for everything. So that's why it's a 2.0. It's breaking everything. And you might even think about migrating the data. I don't think it will be possible. That's going to be a breaking change. You will go on 1.x.
I was going to say, you're kind of stuck on that.
No.
Oh, you're not?
Don't use Orchard 2.0. That's a technical breaking change, not in terms of features. The feature will be the same, but it's just technically we won't use the same techniques. And but yeah, the old websites will be on Orchard 1 version, and the new website, if you want Orchard 1, you can still use Orchard 1 or Orchard 2. We don't know yet. We have to be also very wise with that and think about the implication. But we can say, no, don't do a 2.0 with that because it will break. No, that's not how.
Right, so that's fantastic. And very exciting. We really appreciate it. It's really good stuff. Thank you for those of you. I know that there's a couple questions out there, and so thanks for being willing to save those for the end of the day, just so that we can move on to the next panel and try to stay on schedule. So that's great. The next session is going to demo e-commerce, and if anybody needs a 2-minute break, we just do 2 minutes, and then come back.
Il faut aussi que je copie un CV sur l'ordinateur.